people. We're gonna ask, if we could, Mr. Chairman, the Everetts to come up and say a few words to the committee, and then open to any questions after that. If you indulge us, thank you, sir.
Please proceed.
So we're calling to the table Mrs. Cassie Everett, and she is with her husband Taylor Everett and their daughter Lexi, who's a 4th grader at Chancey Elementary in Louisville, Kentucky. So welcome to the table. Lexi, you want to sit here?
Welcome.
Taylor?
Thank you. Thank you, committee, for letting us tell our story today. The goal today is to tell you a little bit about our experience, and mainly my wife's experience, as someone with epilepsy since a young child. And so she's going to go through her experience as it's been up till now, and we're going to let you know kind of how the drugs that she is currently on and the limited options that we do have, how it's affected her and our family in general. So if you want to go through your story.
I'm Cassie, and I was diagnosed with juvenile epilepsy at the age of 11. I had a 70% chance that I would outgrow it and a 30% chance it would get worse. Unfortunately, it got worse. When I was 17, I went on to have my first grand mal seizure, which is the type that many of you know, where you're unconscious and shaking. And it was controlled for a few years, but then when I got pregnant with my daughter Lexi, they had to increase my medicine tremendously, and to the point where I couldn't drive anymore. I've had lots of restrictions between trouble sleeping, walking, balance. Oh, yes. And one thing I would like to share with you is currently, this is my daily medication. And
Twice a day.
Twice a day. And I personally would like the option of having medical marijuana, knowing to be off of some of this medicine and the side effects. They make me sleepy. I have trouble breathing, talking. I mean, just having that option would be wonderful.
Yeah, and to go off of that, as a husband, you know, it's very, very tough when you look at your wife and you go to the doctor and you say, you know, what can I do? Because today you woke up and your legs aren't working properly. You can't run. You can't breathe. Well, let's go to the doctor. You know, what can we do? Well, your options are you take these pills and you keep dealing with this, or you have seizures. And when I ask her, well, I go online on all the epilepsy support groups because there are hundreds of thousands of people with this throughout the country. And everyone talks about how they have this option of medical marijuana and how it has changed their life. It is very, very frustrating as a husband to look at my wife and say, well, there's something out there, but there's nothing I can do for you. And then when you go to your doctor and you mention this to them, and the doctor says, yeah, that would be great, and I would recommend it to you if I could, but guess what? We can't because we're in Kentucky. And my wife's lived in Kentucky her whole life, and I'm from Pittsburgh, and I've been in Kentucky for 7 years. And guess what? We're not going anywhere. So this is our option for right now. And so our goal today is to show you, you know, with the limitations that we have, this is what our life is reduced to. And not to mention, Lexi, if you could stand up. My daughter, when she was born with one femur shorter than the other one. And we've done tests, genetic tests, and everything that could possibly cause this. And the main thing that can cause this, that they have said, is that medicine. And so when I think about the option of, you know, the dangers of medical marijuana, which I understand there are some, versus what we currently have now, I don't even think it's close. And my wife, just so you know, she has the type of epilepsy that's all over her brain. So she can't get surgery. And the only thing she can get is called a VMS. We've tried it. Hasn't helped. So the only option for the rest of her life, if nothing changes, is to keep upping her medicine as it gets worse. And that's where we sit here today and beg of you to help put this through, to help people like my wife and all the thousands of Kentuckians that this possibly could help. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I want to note that the Everetts contacted me, and it was a very auspicious communication there. He didn't know I was even working on this bill. They're constituents of mine. Cassie was a 3rd grade teacher, and now she does assist, thankfully, at a kindergarten in Jefferson County. And so you see how her life is affected. Her neurologist tells her this is an option her neurologist wants to allow her to have. They talk with a bunch of people all around the country with the same condition who are getting relief in other states. I want to close, if I might, just to say this. You know, there's tremendous pain in the world. There's hurt. There's no panacea. I know that. But what we know, because there's dozens of countries and over 30 of our sister states that have already went down the route to medical marijuana. What we know, numerous studies all over the world, what we know, not speculation, what we know is that medical marijuana helps people. This side of heaven, there is no panacea, but this is a tool that our neighbors and our family should have. Let's let the doctors decide.
Thank you.